Hello, everyone. Welcome to Altar of Ego. Thank you for watching the recording or watching it back. I'm really excited. I want to build a framework. I know some of you already know this from last week, but it's important for those who weren't there to kind of get into the idea or into the framework of how we do things around here. Really, really important. I'm going to be saying a lot of things, like a lot of things, and I need you to constantly discern. I want you to sense what I'm saying and either go yes or no, or write that down for later. I want you to really like drop into your body and feel and sense some of the things I'm saying and go yes, no. Yeah, that's like this is an invitation for you. And discern, 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 because only you know what is best for you. Only you know. I can say a lot, only you know. We love to frame here. So if the Shadow Madonna were a museum and we had lots of frames along the walls, it would be individual frames, individual pictures, moments, thoughts, body sensations, and feelings from each of the women and their experience while moving through the Shadow Madonna masterclasses. Yeah. So what does that look like? It means that I'm going to stop sometimes, and maybe this will be the moment that I jump off quickly and I just like see what's happening and see you guys' faces. And I'm going to ask you to frame something that just came up, frame something that just happened for you. And what's the framework? How do we structure that? We drop into, when you said this, I was having these thoughts. When I saw this photo or this picture, my body sensation was this. And when I was like watching this happen or this concept being told to me, this is the feeling that I got. And this is the framework in which I want you to start sharing. And also, by the way, if you start differentiating these things in your life, you're going to have a lot easier of a time getting clear as fuck about what you want. Okay, do you see this one too? Do you see it all? Are we good? Can we begin? Fuck yeah. Okay, here we go. So I was just talking about framing, right? So this is the framework that we work with. This is the framework that I want you guys to keep in mind. So as you're engaging with this information, again, thought, body, feeling. Thought, body, feeling. Okay? Cool. All right. Let's get into it. This is like a really unorthodox way of doing this, but I'm here for it. Can we see this? Yes. Amazing. All right. So something that's important to me to share, and I don't really like beginning these things by just like chucking a spotlight on me, but I really want to share with you a bit of credentials. And no, I don't mean little cute certificates that hang on a little wall or something like this. I mean experience. I mean embodiment. And I want to just tell the story to give you like just an idea, a sensation of where you can take yourself if you so desire, if you want to go there, if that's interesting to you. Okay. And this little story here, these photos are from a very particular time in my life, 4 years ago now, where this is not the only time I've done this. I'm gonna sound fucking insane, but that's the point. Where I took myself on a little trip to a tiny Greek island. I had nothing more than, what else am I gonna do? What else are you guys gonna do? You guys are gifting me with your time. Okay, so where was I? Yeah, I really want to drop into this because this is like really something I wanted to share and bring into the space, because the only thing that makes me fucking qualified to do or create or make some sort of beautiful masterclass like the one I did is because of what I decided to do 4 years ago on this trip. Like that's the only thing that allows me to really sensationally feel confident as fuck to teach you everything I know. So it's like this is what makes it really, really exciting for me and also potent for me to share these things with you. Okay? So let me tell you a little bit about this little exploration. So I had a little backpack, and I literally, like, no shit, I'm not kidding, I'm not over exaggerating. I love to be over dramatic, but in this scenario, I'm being spot on about the story, okay? I had a little backpack with a sheepskin, a hammock, a mosquito net, and that's it. And I had this for 3 days, and I had looked at the map on Corfu, and I had said, that area at the very bottom looks like a mountain and looks like somewhere where you could probably stay. you could probably climb up. And so I did this. I decided to go there. And mind you, it was completely sober. Like, this entire experience was completely sober. And I decided that in this time period, in these 3 days, I would go to the mountains and I would ask God, I would ask the universe, I would ask whatever you want to call the greater powers, the greater thing, source, whatever you want to call it, to bring me to my fucking knees. Because sensationally, I could feel that there was a bubbling of insanity within me. And I was like, if I'm gonna lose my mind, I want to do it here. Like, I really want to do it here. So what did I do? I collected stones, I collected acorns, I created some crazy fucking mandalas, I prayed, I watched the sunrise, I watched the sunset, I lay terrifying in my hammock and heard sheep walking around me. And I decided to dissolve myself at the altar of love, dissolve myself at the altar of truth. And those concepts might sound like really fucking vague as hell, but I promise we're going to get into them. I promise we're going to get into altar in itself. And through this process of truly dissolving myself, I touched something that I would call death, transformation, whatever you would like to call it. And I noticed that something kept me on earth. Something kept me from really losing my fucking mind, like completely losing my mind. And whatever held me is what also gave me and gifted me then the inspiration to continue living. And when I say living with a capital L, not just living. We have to understand where we came from in order to invite in the sanctuary and sanctity with dignity. We can't walk up to an altar without having divulged what is sanctuary and what is sanctity, right? Like, what is sanctuary? What is peace? And how can we arrive there with dignity? By the way, if you're not familiar, I'm going to say a lot. It might not all make sense. It will make sense in the end. There's a lot of Easter eggs everywhere, so just hang tight, okay? When you start to edge the rim of the ridges of sanity and insanity, then you can briefly touch the yearning of death while still staying earthside. There is nothing wrong with desiring to kiss death on the mouth or make love to leaving. I want to destigmatize the innate desire, because a lot of women who are attracted to my work have a very close relationship with death, have maybe even a secret death wish. We kind of talked about this in Unbridled. And there's something here with that, right? Because within death, there is a guarantee for transformation, whether that's transformation to heaven, transformation to rebirth, whatever it might be. Yeah. So I want to just place that into your psyche, yeah, and let that simmer. Do I want to say anything else about this sheet? This little slide. Yes, I then watercolored this painting, and it's like a symbolism of my process on this island, which was like really like placing. I also found like bones while I was hiking up there and like placing them on my body, and then like laying my hands to the sides and really asking the woman who had lived, died, and given birth on this land to hold me as I just became more and more crazy, insane. So I later painted this in like a big canvas, and maybe I'll share that as well. Through touching death, we also come into expression. I just want to highlight that. That's also something that can just sit in your psyche. The space defined. Let's define the space, ladies. Do we know what altar is? Do we have any idea what altar is in itself? Do we understand what altar is? Altar comes, we like look back in time. We've actually always had a very consistent relationship with altars in themselves. They've been a place where we sacrifice to the gods. They're a place where we put food, animals, incense, and we gave by placing it on the altar. We were also giving an appeasement, honor, or some sort of communication line with the divine. It was a place where we worshipped, and it's a place where we moved from sacrifice, offering, memory, and transformation. And while we moved through that, we also were gifted the chance to be in communion because we believed. And there's definitely a sensation of like devotion behind that you'll see throughout these slides as well, that will really allow you to, it'll allow you to sense something that is unseeable or something that's very ancient within you. And I want to let that simmer. So we cannot just stand there in hopes. We must adhere to what is greater humbly. So we're going to talk about being with the ego. We're going to talk about the altar. We're going to talk about the alter ego, but none of these can happen. So this is the preface. Like this is laying the foundations for everything else to fall into place. If this doesn't exist, and I really mean it, like if this doesn't exist, if we're not humbly on our knees, building the foundation of humbly being nothing and being nothing, then it's going to be really, really hard to invite in anything else. Does that make sense? Or not at all? Or a little bit? We're still at the beginning. I'll let it simmer. Should prayer not bring us to an altar where walls and names do not exist? This is a quote by Rumi that I also wanted to just drop with you. Let me just sense if there's anything else I want to say about this. I think what I want to add about this is like when I was like in this little bubble of being in Corfu, there was one thing that I was absolutely sure of, and it was that I could be nothing, and that really like my life could mean nothing. And I don't mean that in like a depressing taking the rug underneath my feet kind of way. And it almost makes me emotional to talk about. I really mean it in the sense that I was like, there's something telling me, and I think that when we get to a point where we're so in connection with ourselves and also the divine, you know, we start to hear these whispers or these, you know, coincidences or whatever we want to call them, right? Divine intervention, like whatever you want to call it, right? It's like there is something whispering to me that was like, Sara-Lynn, if you are really fucking serious about being a vessel for God, then you must train to be empty. You must train to be empty. And to be empty is to have nothing, to be nothing, to experience nothing. And that does require you to border into the edges of insanity, because what if you really do mean nothing? What if your identity is nothing? What if it's all nothing? And what happens when we start to get in conversation with this nothingness, this emptiness? And when we're in that emptiness, and a lot of the time, I think I said this also, I don't remember, I think in the 4th week of Unbridled, I said, like, when do you pray? Like, really, really, when do you pray? Because, like, odds are you're probably praying when things are going to shit. We love to call upon God to be like, hey, or like universe, like, hey, I want to manifest this and this and this. But like, to be rooted in your fucking womb and be like, here I am. Here are my prayers. I humbly bring my prayers to you. And if you went through Unbridled, then we were starting off as the maiden, and we were moving to the wife. The maiden begins her day on her knees. She offers to the sky her prayers. And the woman ends her day as the wife. Little Easter egg. I'm going to do this slide, and then I'm going to ask for a little. And I'm back. Can you hear me? Yeah, nice. I can only see Diva right now for whatever reason. Diva in the main show. Okay, didn't say anything, so you didn't miss anything. Don't worry. I'm really pushing. I'm praying on my right now. I'm humbly on my knees praying for my laptop. Who's like going wild, doing a little wild show here. Okay, so here we go. So I really want to emphasize this, okay? We cannot have the altar if we do not have an altar. We can't have something alternative if we don't have an altar that brings us back to earth, that hones in our identity and our ego. If there is nothing sacred built, why would something sacred land within you, right? Some of you saw that I posted this on my story a few days ago, that I was like, ladies, like if you are serious about getting your energetic field, your space, your face, your emotions, your body into a place of allowing something to land within you, whether that's like a new skill, whether that's a new concept, whether that's a new business, whether that's a child, whether that's like anything. What is necessary is to honor the sanctity, the sacredness of who you are. It's really fucking hard for Source to gift you what you desire if you are not honoring what is already. It's like super logical, but sometimes we need to hear these things like 2 or 3 times for them to like move through our body and actually land in our womb, right? So how could you possibly expect yourself? This is also an like, of course you might have an expectation to like the higher, greater thing, but also like, how could you possibly expect from yourself to transcend to the heavens or unite with your power when you have never really sat rooted on your knees in prayer, or dared to stay when your entire being is screaming to run? The moments where you remain are the ones that define who you are made, who you are and what you are made of. What will ultimately be what allows your soul to speak to you, what it has been dying to reveal to you. Women love to go. Women love to leave, often from their bodies, right? Or they're like, here, just take my body, it's fine, right? Or we're just like completely yanking ourselves out of the experiencing into like disassociation, into like fucking peace out, I'm out of here, right? That's totally fine. Super valid considering all of our fucking history. But what I want to bring to you here is that when we have an altar that is physically in existence, or an altar that lives within our psyche, then we have a much better chance at hearing what our soul has to say and untangling ourselves from emotions that feel like they are overtaking us, or emotions that bring us into collapse. Does that make sense? So a lot of the, like, for example, grief. I've experienced a lot of grief in my life. And one way that I've really like been able to stay in my center, tune into the back of my body, into my spine, is by really like closing my eyes and imagining an altar that lives in front of me, and allowing grief to be personified and sitting in front of that altar. Because the moment that grief is not inside of me, fucking choking me to death, and is like taken apart and is like sat in front of the altar, and I get to see it and I stay, I have so much of a better chance of like grounding the things that I desire, grounding my love and my power. Otherwise it feels like this like dystopian, like very strange sphere to be living in, because we're like enmeshed with our emotions, we're enmeshed with our experience. It's like fuck, it's happening again. Right? Like whatever it is you're experiencing, whatever emotion it is. And when you get into a routine where an altar has an actual role in your life, and we'll get into this today, then we're able to differentiate what is me, what is my identity, what is my center, versus what is experience out here, right? Like out here in the world. That was a lot of information. We're back, I think. Yes. Okay, nice. So the ego is a friend. There are so many moments in our lives, especially for women, where it's been like, hey, don't be so egocentric. We've probably heard this line from someone, right? Or like, hey, why are you being so egotistical, right? Or like you've seen it happen in front of you, or you've seen the word just being used, right? And there's some sort of like taboo. It's like, oh, if you have an ego, it's probably a bad thing. I'm here to tell you that having an ego is probably the best fucking thing that could happen to you. Why? Because it will be what strengthens your capacity to unmesh yourself from the experience that feels so fucking intense, or that emotion that feels so fucking intense, and allow you to go right fucking back here, right into like your sternum, right into your center, right into your eye. If you don't have this, and this is not strengthened, then your capacity to dissolve your fears, your toxic selves. Oh, we don't see the slides. Thank you, Greta. I wonder what happened. Thank you for share window. There we go. Oh, we're really hanging in there, guys. I love it. And here we go. So, do we see them? Do we see the slides? Yeah. Okay. Cool. Amazing. So if we want to be able to dissolve, and when I say dissolve, I mean like what Shauna was saying, like feeling like you're going fucking crazy because you're like, I like all of these things must die, right? To dissolve, to die, to put to rest, right? If we want to dissolve these fears, if we want to dissolve these toxic selves, to dissolve our sanity, or dissolve our prayers, it doesn't always have to be this something that is like weighing on us. It can also be something beautiful if we want to dissolve our prayers, right? It's what is necessary, a necessity for those things to really have the capacity to expand and also to land, is to have an identity, is to have an ego that brings us fucking back home. An ego that brings us back home. We need an anchor when we go through these experiences. There's so many moments that I've seen women go through, like very intense experiences, also psychedelic experiences, also like transcendental experiences, right? And they're left in pieces, like a million shattered pieces. Why? Because no one told them that having an ego is what will be able to help them piece those little pieces back together. And yes, we're women. We're going to be shattering a couple times in our lifetime. We can't like move through life assuming that we're going to be one whole fucking piece the whole time. The whole process, the whole beauty of being a full spectrum woman is like moving ourselves through all of these different moments in our life and all of these different emotions and bringing it back home. Bringing it back home again and again and again. So while going through this process of like peeling apart, going into dissolve, we're building the reputation of capacity, which is also allowing our nervous system to actually trust us, right? To go, capability is trustworthy when we have documented the hours, when the results speak for themselves. When we go back in time and we go, oh yeah, true, when I got my heart broken back then and then, this and this is how this is what my behavior was like. This is how I took care of myself. When this and this grief moved through me, this is what I did to make sure I was holding myself, to make sure I was present with myself. So we're constantly, like I call these reference points, right? Like we're constantly on the lookout for like, what are the reference points that allow us to go, true, I have had an ego. So my first question for you all, grab your notebooks. Can you remember the last time that you thought of yourself in not necessarily in this wording, but in this way of like, oh my God, I'm so selfish. When was the last time? Can you just note down that moment that happened? When was the last time you felt or you even judged and you were like, wow, that was really selfish of me? Notice how fast or slow you're having to think about this one. I wonder what that's about. Actually, my pricing is this: I need to take care of myself before I'm offering cheaper prices. So the question is like, what about this feels selfish? And why isn't it just something that you feel like you desire or you deserve? Like, what makes you think you're undeserving of this? That's kind of the fine print. What makes you think you're undeserving of this? And if this question maybe doesn't apply to like the example you just wrote down, I just want you to write down this question anyways. I want you to keep this question with you for the next 7 days. What makes you think that you don't deserve exactly that? What is it? Yeah? Beautiful. Okay. I'm going to move on. We'll circle back to this, but I'm going to move on. So remember that sacred thing that I asked you to bring? You can just like, if you don't have it with you, just like bring it into your conscious mind, just like let it be here. If you have it, just take it into your hands and just drop in for a moment, closing your eyes, relaxing your shoulders, Taking a long inhale and then exhaling through the mouth. And just holding on to this sacred object, this piece that you decided to select. Take another long inhale. Allow yourself to drop into the sensation of holding this sacred piece. Relaxing your jaw, removing the tongue from the roof of the mouth. Letting your temples relax, your belly soft, your hips wide, your arms dropped, and your hands holding this sacred object. I want you to sense what it's like for your body to be holding something sacred. What is it like for your body to be holding something sacred? What sensations are present and where are they present in your body? Notice if there's any tension seeping in. Is there tension? If there is, where is it? I'd like you to focus on the sacredness of the object and maybe see if there's a story attached to the sacred sensation, not the story of where it came from or what it means to you, but just see if there's a story that you don't even know about this sacred piece. Is there another story of sacredness that desires to reveal itself to you? I want you to sense if there's a certain action, a certain way in which your body would like to honor the sacredness that you hold or the story of the sacredness that's being told to you. Is there a certain way that your body would like to move or would like to be? And finally, what about this object and being in presence with this object makes it undeniably sacred to you? And if there's some doubts arriving or arising around the sacredness, allow those to be there as well. And then gently and softly bring yourself back into the space. Open up your rib cage, roll your shoulders back, move your head if you would like to, and just write down what this experience was like for you. Just note down a few things, just some bullet points, particularly the last question. What makes this undeniably sacred to you? What is that? please note in a very obvious way, what were the body sensations when you were feeling like the first few questions that I was asking? What was the body sensation like for you? What was it like for your body to hold something sacred? And also notice how hard or easy it is to answer that, or in the moment, how that was for you. Yes or no? Yes. Laura's coming in with all the emojis. I love it. Can we answer fast? Yeah? Did everyone answer fast? Kind of? Some indifference? Immediate, yes. Amazing, Shauna. So, was everyone able to answer yes or no? Or were there some like indifference? Aline, you were also yes or no clear? Diva, you too? Yeah? Yes. Amazing. Beautiful. Okay, once again, you officially have a new reference point of knowing exactly what you want and desire. Just another one, just another way of proof, another proof that you actually know exactly what you feel and sense and that you can trust it. Just a quick yes or no. Yeah? So we're going to keep that there. You probably can't see the slides now, right? Okay. Okay, nice to see your face. Okay, we move on. So I'm not going to give the last exercise more context. It will make sense later. Trust the process. Okay? Okay, cool. So I want to talk a little bit about altar versus altar. Because now we're moving on to, last week we started somewhere and then we moved into the next piece. So this is the same thing. We're moving from divulging and understanding what an altar is and why would we even bring this into the whole concept of alter ego, right? Like, I know we want to get into the sexy stuff. I know we want to have an alter ego. Like, I know how important that is for all of you. And with some of you, we've even like talked about it, right? And like, I understand. At the same time, there's no chance of the alter ego actually lasting if we don't have the altar, if we don't bring ourselves to the altar. Because the moment, like what Laura was saying, that she felt resonance with, it's like the moment that we get confused, the moment that we get disorientated from from our emotions, from our experience, from our like codependency, like all of these things, the moment when things start to look like a little bit hazy or a little bit confusing or foggy, that is the moment that we need the altar. We need the sacredness more than anything, more than anything else. Because if we don't have that, there's no way we can even usher in an alter reality, an alter universe, an alter ego, right? So I want you to write down in your journal alter versus altar, two lists, right and left. And then I want you to write down the words that first come up for alter. What are the first few words? Just a few words. Alter. And if you're confused, altar is the one where you like literally walk up to a little thing that you build in your house or in your home. An altar is the difference, right? Does this make sense or is this confusing? Do we need more explanation? Yes. Okay. Aline, yes. Shauna, no. Okay. I'm gonna explain a little bit more. So do you need more definition of the word?
Yeah, of alter with ER, like Alter.
Alter.
Alter. So alter is the difference, right? It's alter is something else. Like imagine you're going to the tailor to get something altered, right? So you're going to the tailor to like literally get things cut up, to get things moved, right? We want a shift, we want a difference. It's not going to be the same thing that we have right now, it's going to be something different. So alter is that. Don't overthink it. Just sense into what I just shared and just see what other word associations come up for you, what other concepts come up for you. If the opposite of alter is same, what is alter? If the opposite of alter is, oh my God, what's the synonym to same? Replica, what is alter? See how much you need to scavenger for this as well. Ooh, Veronica, I love that. I get a word nemesis for some reason. Ah, I love it. So if it's not our love, then it's our nemesis, or it even surpasses enemy, right? So, and you can just jot down like a few words, and then also jot down like any body sensations that come up as you're like writing these two separate lists, alter versus altar. Altar might be easier for you, right? Because we've just been talking a lot about it. Don't overthink it. We'll come back to this. Okay. Okay. Give you like 30 more seconds. Okay. Why did you choose the image on the sheet? Good question, Julia. So, to me, symbolic. To me, it's symbolic because in order for our altered ego or altered state to be effective and to be a true warrior when it comes to our life, when it comes to relational work, when it comes to our dreams, our hopes, our purpose, we need our altar to be fully reincarnated. Like we need her to be fully there in order to like become the warrior that moves through all of these different scenarios that end up coming towards us. And we can't do that unless we have that centered altar. And the altar, the one that really allows us to like really, really, truly be the, oh, hold on. I see you guys are sharing. Allows you to really be the altered ego is by moving, by like taking in the altar, moving through it, just like I was talking at the beginning about being the empty vessel. It's like moving through that in order to fully embody the altar. I love the sharing. So Shauna shared altar, transformation, rebirth, change, shift, longing, altar, sacred, intentional, reverence, devotion. Ooh, beautiful. Julia shared alter, transformation, shift in how I am expressing identity, come closer to living my truth, become aware, and eventually letting go of stories and conditioning. Altar, sacred peace, pieces, communication to God, and remembrance. Ooh, remembrance. I love that word. Gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. Thank you for sharing. Okay, we're going to let that be. I know this is a lot of mysticism. I know this is a lot of you just trusting the process. And I just want you to know I appreciate it. It's going to be a lot of full circle moments the more we progress. Yes? Okay, so touching the sacred. So to touch the sacred. Most women, and this is like where maybe that imagery also, Julia, I was drawing from, most women are at war with themselves when they could be going to war for themselves. So remember the question I asked at the beginning when I was like, hey, what makes you think that you're not deserving of exactly what you just called yourself selfish for? Right? This is the shadow homework, right? Like, this is like, why are we questioning ourselves? Why are we moving out of a space of like true, deep-seated intentionality about what we desire and execution of those desires and questioning that? And how much energy are we wasting by questioning that when we could be moving through the altar in order to embody the alter ego, who will be what allows us to move forward. And we'll get into that. But first, we need to talk a little bit more about the sacred. I know we might get a little bit and might get a little boring with the sacred, but again, like, I'm really, really here to ask you to get into sustainability. And the only way we can do that is by starting with sacred. So I asked you all, and this is going to seem really silly, but I really want to do this experiment with you. I asked you all to bring a scarf, right? And I'm going to ask you, if you have the scarf, to put the scarf on your head and wrap it around you. And I want you to just see what changes. If you don't have a scarf, you can just imagine putting a scarf on. Ooh, Shauna, I love the color of your scarf. Beautiful. Wow. Wow. Do we already feel that something is different? A little bit? Yeah. Mm. Okay. Well, I just want you to just gaze a little bit at the other woman. Just gaze that they look maybe different than what they did just now. Maybe you look different than you did just now. What has changed? What feels different? Now gently allow yourself to close your eyes and just drop into feeling that scarf on your head. Julia just shared my head, and I want you to just feel your shoulders relax and sense if there's an enclosement since having the scarf on your head. An enclosement, or maybe a containment like Julia shared. And I would like you to ask to yourself or to something bigger than yourself if you don't receive an answer. Soften your breath. Would like you to ask, What is it? What is it that I am to worship? What is it that I am to worship? Allow your jaw to relax. And I'd like you to just sense the energy at the bottom of your spine and just stay there for a moment. And allow your focus to travel very slowly up your spine to the middle of your back. And then gently allow the focus to go up all the way to the crown of your head, and notice if your body wants to immediately open your chest more. Allow your focus to stay at the base of your skull. And now allow your focus to travel to the crown of your head. And stay there. And now just check in. Is sacredness with you? Can you sense sacredness with you? I'd like to drop your focus now to your third eye, to your forehead. And in your mind's eye, I'd like you to imagine tall, beautiful gates. I'd like you to admire them and notice how small you are in comparison to these big, beautiful gates. And notice that your scarf is still on your head, and there is something very ancient about you walking towards these gates. Something ancient and sacred that cannot be quite defined into words, but in your body, your sensations are clear. What is here is sacred. And I want to invite you to humbly walk towards the gates and place some sort of gift or offering in front of these gates. An offering of your choice. And once you've placed this offering at the base of these gates, please take a few steps back and gesture to this sacred space and this sacred these sacred gates in a way that feels right for you. And then gently bring your awareness back to the crown of your head. To the base. The base of your spine, slowly drawing your attention down your spine, back to the base of your spine. Relax your chest. And sense in your body now if something has changed. Notice the scarf on your head. Notice if something is different in your chest. And when it feels correct, when it feels right, very gently place your hands on your heart or your chest, whatever feels best for you. Just massage the front part of your chest, allowing yourself to come back into the space, moving and gently taking deep breaths. And when you're ready, opening your eyes, just writing down what it is, what the answer was to what it is that you are being asked to worship. If something didn't come up in that moment, then just write down your experience and write down the item, the offering that you placed in front of the gates. Love to hear a frame from someone about their experience having the scarf on or sensing the scarf on, and this little adventure that we went on. A frame that begins with these are the thoughts that I had, or this is the body sensation that I had, or this is the feeling that I had, or all three. I like to really hone in on the structure. Feels ready for that. Okay. I'm going to leave this here, and I'm going to ask us to take off our scarves now. And I want you to sensationally really tune into like, what happens? Is there even resistance? Do we even want to take it off? Can you like, what's happening as you're taking it off? Laura was like, I'm done. This is coming off. What's the sensation? What's changing? What's different from 2 minutes ago? And beautiful. Okay, I love that. I really I want you to notice just how different the energy is now, just from like the start of the call to now. Like, just notice there's like a bit more of like a softness, but also like a containment. I'm going to use that word that Julia shared about the experience of the scarf. Like, Do we notice that? Or what are we noticing? Is there like, can I get like one or two words? Just one or two words. Really sensationally anchored in my root and sacrum through the feeling of either, wow. So we feel anchored. I love that. One or two words. Okay, we're shy. That's okay. I can deal with that. Yeah, protected. Feeling invincible. Yeah, I like that. Scarf off, exposed and liberated. Yeah, love that. Love that before and after. I love that you tapped into invincibility, Veronica. That's beautiful. I can relate with that. I think there's so many secret things that we can do when we have the scarf on. Okay. Let me just drop in for a moment. Is there something that I want to add to this? Okay. I think what I want to add to this is what we've just practiced up until now in terms of sensational reference points, in terms of imagery, is an like a true experience for our bodies to have felt what or how sacredness touches us. And we need that, like I explained at the beginning, we need that in order for our alter ego to fully reincarnate, to fully express itself through us. Why? Because if we're walking around being the baddest bitches without ever being sacred as fuck, then we're never going to get what we want. Because then it's like this weird facade, this weird like alter ego facade that's like kicking people's asses and like, and not in a cool way, in like a really weird disintegrated way. If we don't have the sacredness, we can never fully have the experience of the alter ego. So I'm gonna leave that with you for now, and I'm gonna share my screen again. Zach. And we're going to talk about the persona of alter. So women need their egos in order to come to earth more fully, to embody their power and to override their inner nice girl, their inner good girl. So why is this important? Remember at the beginning when I said like the experience of the woman is to be shattered. Like it's not to our benefit to be walking around feeling like we're not going to be shattered, because we are, whatever experience it is, what like in whatever category of our life that is currently there. And instead of it being like a demonizing experience or feeling like a victim to it, embracing it and also coming to terms with what allows us to bring those pieces back together and glue them and alchemize them and do all the wonderful, amazing things that we women do, especially when we decide to walk towards the altar and sit our ass down and, you know, put our hands together and be in prayer, is to really, really allow this experience of bringing it back together to be empowering, to be what allows you to feel your capability. Yeah. So when I talked about reincarnation at the beginning, I think I just mentioned it very quickly. Let me see, where did I? Here, reincarnated. So when I talk about becoming more and more reincarnated, I mean making yourself free and available for your purpose to move through you. And we can only do that when we've experienced the sacredness, which we all have in some shape or form in some way, right? So now I want to ask you, how easy was it to pick or select this provocative piece, this sexy piece that I told you to bring? The one that I was like, maybe it's even a little bit outside of your comfort zone. How easy and or hard was it? You can just write in the chat, easy or hard. Just reflect on that for a moment. And for those of you that already have their piece and that know, like, this is the provocative piece, I want you to sense what Shauna already picked up on, like the word provocative. I want you to sense, like, what does it feel like to think about putting this provocative piece on and wearing it? Maybe in secret, like you don't have to show anyone, you don't have to be witnessed, but just wearing it. What is being provoked? Just drop down like one or two words. Juice, thank you so much for being so honest and transparent with us. You just gave us the juice that we needed.
Welcome.
I love it. I'm going to run with that, if that's okay. So this is what I really want to highlight, because this differentiation from being like, oh, but when I'm wearing it or when I'm with it, this is the sensation, and when I see it on the outside, this is how I perceive, and this is also how I judge a little bit. Yeah, I want us to have honesty around that, and like transparency around that, and openness around that, because the moment that we start to like minimize those thoughts or minimize that expression, we are innately, in this case for real, pulling the rug underneath our feet from ever fully coming into expression of that. So it's an invitation to be like, oh, okay, whoa, fuck. She really wants to take up space. She's really interested in making herself known. She knows exactly what the fuck she wants. So this judgment, and like, this is the juicy part of the masterclass, right? Like, this is, I know this is what we've all signed up for. This is what we wanted to get into the whole time. But as I explained many times, we need that sacredness in order to move into like the badass bitch, like fucking, I know exactly what I want, right? Because if we're not coming from this place of humility, from this place of humbleness, and this place of honesty and of softness, you know, and like, I truly believe, and Laura, maybe you can let me know if this is true, like that we started off making that space, the soft space, so that a thought like what you had would be able to live here, would be able to exist here, because it's what we all maybe thought, felt in one moment or another in our life, right? Like it would be alive. Someone said like, nope, never thought that. Like, fuck that. It's not true. Come on. So what I'm saying with this, what I want to get into with this is like that permission, that gifting of permission to be like, okay, fuck, she's taking up space, is the exact juiciness that I want to like in detail get into with you. So I want you to write down the name of your alter ego. What is her name? What's her name? Write down her name, please. What's her name? And once you have her name, I want you to start sensing, what kind of jacket is she wearing? Nothing else, just the jacket. Like, what kind of jacket is she wearing? And then, what kind of shoes is she wearing? I want you to start to design her a little bit. What kind of shoes is she wearing? What kind of jacket is she wearing? We're working from the outside in, unlike most of my other practices from the inside out. And now I want to know, what kind of undergarments is she wearing? Is she a cute little cotton undie kind of girl? Is she like hot hot stockings kind of gal? What kind of woman is she? What is she wearing? And as you design her, I would like your thoughts. Your thoughts are very much invited to go, holy shit, I can't fucking believe this is what she's wearing. I want your body reaction to almost be like, oh my God, she's wearing that? Okay. I want your reaction, your response and reaction to you designing her to be edgy. And you can do that by tapping into texture, tapping into color, tapping into like the silhouette, like kind of a play on last week, what we were talking about. Design her for me, please. And now I want you to write down, if imagine you are sitting next to her, she's sitting in front of you, and I want you to listen to her, really listen to her. Call her by her name and 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 ask her, in what ways do you desire me to raise my standards? In what ways do you desire me to raise my standards? What are the first three things that she's telling you? And it's not you. Be very, very mindful. It's not you that's writing this down, it's her. Okay? Every time your thoughts kind of drift away, I want you to say her name. Say her name at least 3 times and then ask again. Just 3 things. Maximum 5. She's not allowed to she's not allowed to like drop mayhem on you. You need to also put her in her place as she puts you in her place. And you put as she puts you in your place. Okay. And now I would like you to ask her if there's anything about her personality that is different from yours. What's altered? And if she could lead your life for a day, or if it's easier, you can do the framework of a week in a day. What are her first actions? What's the first thing that she takes care of? What's the first thing that she does differently? What's the first thing that she's like, bah, 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 this is what I'm doing. This is how we're doing this. This is how we're taking over that. What are the first things? Just list like one, maximum three things down. Yeah. If it's feeling difficult for you, if it's easy for you, just flow. And now I want you to write down what makes her a badass. What makes her like fucking undeniably cool? What makes her seem like she has a lot of authority? And particularly this authority piece, I would like you to tune into that. Tune into what makes her seem like she has a lot of authority. Tell me her facial expression, tell me her body posture, tell me about what allows you to clock that she has authority. And lastly, like these are all open questions, right? You can write a lot more later. But I'm curious, you know, like that move sometimes in movies where like there's a character that's like saying a lot of things, like saying a lot of things, and then the other character puts their fingers like this and does, shh, you know. I want to know, what is she? In what moments is she going? Shh. What is she silencing? What are moments where she goes shh, and not from a place of like gaslighting you out of your feelings, but more from a place of like, it's okay. I got this. Or from a place of like, you don't need to worry about that anymore. You don't need to talk about that anymore. I've got you. A sexy way of saying shush. What must be silent? Maybe it's a certain behavior. Maybe it's a certain story. Maybe it's a certain narrative that you got playing in your head on loop. I don't know. I'm not you. You tell me. When you notice that she's shushing this aspect. She's taking a bit of ownership of this aspect, right? She's like, shush, don't worry about this, baby girl. Like, it's okay. She's shushing this. As a result, within you, what becomes very easy for you to worship? So, what becomes easy for you to worship as a result of her taking ownership of this particular thought, feeling, behavior? If you want, shall I get a little more specific about this? Yeah. So as she's going like, shush, I got you. So she's taking whatever it is that's on your shoulders that's been weighing on you. She's saying like, okay, let me take this thing, taking this away from you, putting it here. I'm taking over this because I'm the alter ego, aka, for example, a situation where you kind of are going into freeze and you sort of feel like, fuck, I don't want to set my boundaries. And she's like, don't worry, I'm going to take this for you. I'm going to set the boundary for you. I'm going to be very fucking clear. And as a result, you're feeling lighter, right? Your shoulders are feeling lighter. Your neck is feeling relaxed. Your face is feeling relaxed. And you're going, ah, okay. And now I'm asking you, what makes it easy now to worship? What is it? What can you worship now as a result of not having to carry that burden? You might need to mull this over. You might need to like put your head on the pillow and sleep on it. But this will expose very, very clearly purpose, centeredness. Beautiful. All right. We're in the home stretch, ladies. So my question to you is, because in this particular aspect, I gave you a very good example. I want to know, what responsibilities does your alter ego take over for you? What is possible when she alters things and takes the ownership for things that are hard for you, or maybe things that must be done, whatever it is. I don't know what your resistance moments are like, but I want to know, what is she taking over for you? What's she taking over for you? What are boundaries that she is setting for you? What are behaviors that allow you to recognize that she is not you, she is your alter ego? What are ways in which she describes and is clear as fuck about what she desires? How could you tell? How would you be able to tell? So when I ask, how do we tailor her into existence? How do we make her come alive? How do we bring her forth? These are the small ways in which you'll be able to flag that she has emerged out of you. So right now she's here, right? She's living outside of us, and we're like inspecting her, we're taking a look at her, we're designing her. And now I'm getting curious about like, okay, how does she behave in this situation? What is she like in that situation? How can I tell that she's a bad fucking bitch? How can I tell? How can you tell? So that's what we're doing right now. We're taking a look. We're moving her around. We're taking a look. We're calling her by her name. Okay. These are a lot of questions, but I want your the little thoughts to be going and the little creativity to be going. Yeah, that's the point of this. So I wrote down you desire iconic, but you're busy being complacent. So your alter ego is obviously not complacent, right? Like she is deeply attuned to herself, right? She knows what she wants. You know how she behaves. So what I would love to hear from some of you, I would love to hear like 2 or 3 frames, is can you answer some of the questions that I've asked you? Can you tell us a little about her? Can you say her name? Can you tell us how you can tell? You can even write it in the chat if you want. Can you tell us how you can tell that she is your alter ego and that she will and can take over these things that need ownership? Can you tell me behaviors that allow you to understand that she is capable? Can you tell me a little bit about how you've designed her, what your perception of her is, what makes her really enticing? One thing I would love to just also clarify, I think that you got this, but I just want to be really clear. The alter ego is like a protector. She is what makes it possible for you to be in your spine, in your center, and like allow purpose to move through you and out into the world. Because you're no longer busy having conversations with this nice girl persona, with the good girl, I want to make everything right person inside of you, because she has taken over the job. She is the one that sets the boundaries. She is the one that goes, this is how we're going to do it from now on. I'm taking care of this, this, and this, and this. And suddenly, you're not wasting your time anymore going, oh my God, how am I going to do this and this? How is like it's this story gets eliminated because she exists, right? And now right now we're talking about her outside of us, right? She's here. And here is what allows us to become available for other things, other topics, all the things, right? So she's here right now. And what I wanted to share about the building the density of your aura to contain the powers of your altar. So in the same way that you wrapped around the scarf and you felt like that containment, you felt like, wow, okay, suddenly it's going internal. Suddenly I'm living like right here, like this is where my attention is. And that humbleness and that sacredness came here and had a chance to even land within you. This is the state of existence that we want to create by having an alter ego that takes ownership of these things for us. Obviously, for context, you are all of those things. All the ways in which that, and really, I highly, highly, highly recommend, like maybe there wasn't enough time now, but go back for like the next 7 days, like really take time. What does she behave like? How can you tell? I really want to move away from like big picture stuff. Her job is not big picture stuff. You, as the sacred container of your purpose with containment here, right? and suddenly availability for whatever wants to move through you creation wise, right? Like what I was talking about at the very beginning when I was like, y'all want to live your purpose and y'all want like this conception of like having like beauty, a child, like a business, and all of these things move through you. But what's missing is the containment piece and the movement from sacredness and humbleness to alter ego, right? So there's a differentiation between those two, and it's so important that we give her the job so that we can stay contained and available to what wants to. Okay, so tying all of these pieces together now. Let me read that one more time. So building the density of your aura to contain the powers of your altar. So yes, your altar might live outside of you. And yes, I highly recommend, like, if there's a certain topic or there's a certain something that's coming up for you, like, yes, literally build an altar. Yes, literally bring the sacredness into the physical realm. But much, much more importantly, allow yourself to witness yourself at the gates within your psyche. Allow yourself to witness yourself at the gates of the sacred gates of your psyche, the place that feels sacred to you. Because when you have the availability and the connection to this, then you suddenly have a more grounded experience and connection with yourself, which then also allows you to be an alter ego, to be a bitch, to set your boundaries, to take full ownership, because guess what? She doesn't give a shit if she's liked or not. And the one that's here, who's very busy being fucking centered and in connection with herself and no longer thinking about all of the things that are happening out here, right? She suddenly has so much more capacity to hear herself, to hear the sacred, to be in contact with the sacred, and to therefore also live her purpose. If she doesn't train that muscle, if she's not part of that routine, part of that experience, then, and she's out here all the time, right? She's like putting her face out here doing all the work. Yeah, well, fuck, you're probably never going to end up actually doing what you want to do, right? We're giving different jobs to different parts of ourselves and never actually ending up where we are meant to be, right? And I mean, I don't mean that in like a metaphysical kind of sense. I mean it like in a literal, like karmic kind of place. So everything that you've written down, and it's super important that like aspects like the alter ego that I'm talking about is, you know, I wrote down, where did I write this down? Make your life so interesting you want to watch it. I want you to think of like the baddest fucking characters you know on TV or in books. You know, the ones where you're like, oh, I would, oh my God, if I met them in person, like if they were a real life person that I met, it would be like, okay, wow, that's, okay. These are the ones you're note taking from. These are the ones you're note taking from. And in order to design the persona of this alter ego, we need to be note taking from these muses, right? This is something we talked about in Unbridled for those watching the recordings, right? So when we create the alter ego and we allow her to take over these things and we learn from her behavior, because some of you understand, like, this is what's required of me in order for me to get what I want, right? It's the execution that's a little bit harder. The thing is, if you're connected with your sacredness, it's going to be a lot fucking easier to set your ground and keep your ground. If you're connected with the sacredness within you, you also understand your value. You understand your values, period, right? And to defend those, to practice protecting those, the alter ego must exist. Most of you haven't had the experience of being protected. That's also a big reason why you're here. Now you get to create someone who will. An alter ego who is an absolute fucking maniac. Like, people know this about me. Like, if you're in my inner circle,
I will burn houses for you. I will cut that shit off. Like whatever it is. If it's a tree, if it's a car, I don't give a shit. And that determination, that like clear centeredness is because my alter ego is a fucking maniac. And I let her be. Remember at the beginning when I was like, it's so important that we're like, or not at the beginning when Lara was like saying that she had this thought about like, what? Like, can't believe she's doing that. Like, this is the invitation. It's like the more we can notice our mind going like, oh my God, I can't believe they're doing that. I can't believe that this is like taking these notes, like when you're watching a series or watching a movie or reading a book or like someone in real life, you know, pardon me. These are the moments that you get to take notes and go like, okay, the same way in which that is like pinging me and going, ooh, whoa, is the same way in which your alter ego is begging to fucking execute in that exact same way. She's like dying for your permission. And your job is to put on the scarf, to literally drop in and go, let me see if this is if this is coming through me, if this is something that must be done because my sacredness must be protected, because my ego is something that is valid, that keeps me on earth, or if it's something that's coming from a place of like anxiousness, worry, like this kind of sensation in the body or in the expression, right? Then we maybe think twice about it. But when it comes from that place of like, okay, I'm here, I'm checking in. Is this something that I need to defend? Is this something that I want to protect? Yes? Okay, let me call upon whatever her name is. In my heart of hearts, I wish that I could protect everyone. I wish I could like, I know that I'm like a fierce fucking protector. And I know that I tap very deeply into my primalness, and that scares the shit out of a lot of people, particularly women. But it's what's necessary. It's what's necessary to bring us closer to ourselves, to the sacredness in itself that lives within us, right? And that gets to move through us. But that protection, that containment needs to exist. And like for some of you that do polarity work and are like, yeah, the masculine, of course, yeah, he needs to protect him. Of course, we're going to get into a lot more of that next week. But like, really, like, if a woman is in the woods, like back then, like back years ago in the woods with her baby, and there's an animal and it's going to attack, what are you going to do? Kill it. And I want you to get attuned to that. I want your DNA to remember that. I want your body somatic experience to remember that. Remember that that's possible. And then send that information to alter ego. Be like, girl, you got this. You can say no. It's possible. Okay, we're getting somewhere. It's landing more now, right? Yeah, kind of. I'm also not being interrupted by little Zoom. Less Zoom. More sense? Kind of sense? Sort of landing? Where are we at? Yeah? Some shit? Yeah? Okay, nice. Some nice nods. I like that. So it brings me home. Last slide. Here we go. Alter the existence. So like I speak about these concepts and they sometimes seem like, oh, these like they're kind of out here, right? But I want you to I'm saying these concepts because they need to simmer in your psyche. Like when I talk about tailoring, I mean literally like altering her jacket so it perfectly sits on her arms, like altering, being so precise, right? This precision is what is necessary in order for her to, in order for her to clearly execute and therefore protect you, right? If she's not clear, she can't protect. And if you're enmeshed with your protector, then your protector is going down with you when you're in freeze. So again, like I said at the beginning, it's like this process of having an altar means that you're constantly pulling apart the things, placing them in front of the altar and going, okay, who's here? Grief, sadness, anger. Now you can't hear me. Now my headphones are dead. Can you hear me? Hold on. If this alter ego could make a list called Dead to Me, what would be on that list? What the fuck is dead to her? Who's messed with you? Who's fucked around? Who needs to be dead to you? And I know this is dramatic. I know this is like really drastic, but that's the point. Because a lot of the time we're going, no, it's okay. We'll give one more chance. Or no, it's okay. We'll just do this like a little. No. I want to be really fucking hardcore with this. By the way, if someone messes with you guys, they're dead to me. Like, this is what happens. You come into my world, someone fucks with you, you let me know. Don't worry about it. I know people. You know what I mean? This is the energy. This is the energy. So who the fuck is dead to you? Allow your anger to come up. Allow your anger to sit in your belly as you answer this question, as you allow your alter ego to come more and more online. So if it's a little hard for you to be really fucking cutthroat, I want you to think about who needs a timeout. Who the fuck needs a timeout right now? And if it gets a little bit hard, remember your badass alter ego self and allow her to answer for you, okay? I want, like, you know how there's sometimes like the angel and the devil on the shoulder? I want your alter ego to be living on your shoulder going, shh, that person's dead to us now. Also, that person is in timeout now. Yeah, be really fucking clear. And whenever you're sensing that there is some like push and pull and you're not quite sure, scarf on head, drop it to the bottom of your spine, move that energy up, imagine the sacred gates, and ask your question there and see what comes up. This is your space now. And you can also like redesign the gates. You can go back to this meditation. You can return there and go, okay, what is here now? What are we left with? And in an ideal world, because guess what? Your alter ego is probably going to flip out first. She's going to like be really fucking radical, right? She's going to be insane. And we love that. We want her to be that. At some point, she's going to chill out a little bit more. And then I want you to see how plausible it is to get her to come with you to the altar. Maybe even ask her, like, hey, what would it take for you to come to the altar? See if there's resistance. Maybe it's super easy. I don't know. You choose, you see, you witness. And last but not least, the most important thing is all of the questions that I've asked you in this, all the questions where I was like, yes, but like what, like how does she behave? How does she set herself, like how does she set herself clear? How does she protect? And I really mean like, what's her body posture like? All of these questions, like what's her body like? What are her words? How does she frame? What does she feel? Like all of these very grounded, graspable aspects. These are the ones that I want you to focus on. And I want you to try over the next like 7 days, like picking which ones you feel most comfortable with and just like practicing them. When you go and order a coffee and they're being a little something something with you, be really fucking clear. When you notice that someone's like taking up more time than what you feel like is possible for you to hold or that you think you're capable of, practice being clear. At this point, I don't have the capacity, so I need to move on. Attempt not to explain. That's going to be really hard, but that's like advanced. Advanced levels, not explaining. So why are we doing this? Because we're bridging the gap between her and you. So that at some point you guys can change spots super easily. And whenever you feel really fucking cunty and bitchy, just blame it on your alter ego. Just be like, I'm so sorry, that was Sage. She came out again. Can't take responsibility for that. It's all her. Allow her to take the blame, which is, by the way, another way of saying the ownership. Yeah? Oh my goodness, we did it. Oh, you guys didn't see the last slide. Did you see the last slide? Anyways, y'all killed it. Thank you so much for hanging in there with me with this disastrous Zoom and for journeying this whole time. I'm so grateful. I think there's like quite a few things that I missed out on just with all of this confusion, and yeah, just me also not feeling like I'm on top of my fucking game, but that's okay because I'm just gonna make y'all some voice notes in the chat, or I'm gonna like drop in a few other things, and then this whole experience will feel a little bit more wholesome to me and hopefully also to you guys. Love you too. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening or day for those of you who are on the other hemisphere. Big hugs. See you next Sunday. I'm very excited. Happy integration.